If there's one thing you can learn, probably from people like Donald Trump and, Hassan Piker, is no matter what, never admit that you did anything wrong and always deny, 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 attack, attack, attack. And with now the ongoing furore of what is going on in Nottinghamshire, as you may or may not know, Nottinghamshire County Council boss Mick Barton has banned Nottinghamshire Live, Nottinghamshire Post from coming to any council events, not getting any more press releases, and was told originally in their ban, you're not going to get any interviews with our councillors or himself. We reported on that literally a couple days ago. Now, what has happened now? Mick Barton has come out to the BBC. After all, this has been making headlines, especially going very wrongly when Farage himself was pulled up about this. He also didn't answer that question when asked about it in the Senate, which was, again, very, very good when the Democrat brought it up against him. I'm very, very glad that that managed to get to him, because I hoped maybe this would somehow get to them, but I'm at least glad it did. So it is of no surprise at all that now Mick Barton is coming out and said, I never applied a press ban to my councillors. I never applied a ban to them at all. Meanwhile, we've only been talking about this for the past week or so. And that has been the continuing thing that we have seen come out from Nottinghamshire County Council boss Mick Barton, that he had said you can't talk to their councillors or himself. So this argument continues rolling on. It shows just how bad Reform UK are, that they are not this free speech party, that they are not this wonderful party that loves transparency. No, any hard questions and they deny it. And particularly at Nottingham County Council, so not Nottingham, Nottinghamshire, let's get it right. There is, especially coming from Mick Barton, a very, very big authoritarian streak coming through, especially on that council. It is terrifying to watch. Very, very much terrifying to watch that this big authoritarian streak is coming through from them on that council. Very, very much so. And if you are a resident in Nottinghamshire, you should be very, very worried about if you have any complaints or anything like that that you need to take to the council. I would be worried. I would be very worried if if you were there, like one of their constituents. Very worried indeed. But anyway, let's get into more of this, as now the Reform UK boss in Nottinghamshire, Mick Barton, the guy who runs the council down there, is claiming he never applied this ban at all. Anyway, let's get on to this. But before we do, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. Like I say, click the like, click the subscribe, ring the bell, of course, as well, so you get notifications when we go live and when we drop a new video. And of course, down below, there's the Patreon page, there's the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the YouTube membership button down below as well. So thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. Right, let's crack on into this ridiculousness, because oh boy. So, the Reform UK leader of Nottinghamshire County Council has denied that his party's councillors were barred from speaking to the local paper's reporters. Last week, the council told the BBC that Mick Barton had banned the Nottinghamshire Post and its online arm of Nottinghamshire Live from speaking to him and other councillors, now with immediate effect. So remember that. The council had told the BBC, and not just the BBC, they had pretty much told everyone that, yeah, you ain't getting anything like this. We ain't getting, because Nottinghamshire also run the local democracy reporting service down there that is, again, funded by the BBC. They were also told, yeah, we ain't giving any more interviews or anything to them. Very interesting. And of course, remember, this comes from BBC Nottingham. not the local democracy reporting service, from BBC Nottingham. So wild that this is now going on. But anyway, back to this. So it came after a disagreement with the story on a publication ran about local government reorganisation, with the council saying that Councillor Barton and his colleagues would then not be giving interviews. After the council meeting on Tuesday, Barton has now since told the BBC that the ban only applied to press releases and him personally. That's not what had been coming out from the council. He said, "We haven't got a problem. I've not got a problem. I'm being professional, and I hope the Notts Post will become professional," Barton said after the meeting. The ban still stands until they come and apologise. They need to pick up the phone and speak to me. Okay, here's what I would do if I were Nottinghamshire Post. I would say, I'll give you a phone call, Mr. Barton, but it's being recorded. I would record that phone call 100% because, first of all, the Nottinghamshire Post, nothing to apologise for. What it did was entirely professional and entirely right to report. It sourced everything right. It did everything right and correct. It even went to Reform to say, "Hey, we've got this source that is saying this. What's your response to that?" So they did everything right. No, it's Mick Barton, just incredibly salty. I think that this was said, and it was said publicly. It was said in a meeting. Other people have corroborated it. It's not looking good for his leadership if he's going and throwing his weight around in this way. This is why I keep on saying Nottingham in particular, and then Nottinghamshire County Council, is going in such an authoritarian way. And Mick Barton is acting like he's, Kim Jong-un, honestly. So he said he had never stopped his councillors from speaking to journalists at the publication. Again, that's not what the original news that came out had been said. The authority had previously said that it would stop sending press releases to the publication and that Barton and his 40 fellow Reform councillors would not give interviews or invite them to council events. So what's changed? What's changed? A spokesperson for the council last week said that the ban, which will only be lifted for emergency scenarios like flooding and weather-related cases, incidents at council-run schools, adult social care, or public safety issues, has now come into immediate effect. But Barton then denied this, saying, "I didn't know where this came from." Having worked for a local authority in their comms department, this type of thing would need councillor sign off. It would need his sign off for that to come out. I know that it would be the case. This is insane, right? This is generally insane. He's now trying to pass off the fact, "I never said this. Who released this? Who said such a thing?" Well, you did. you fool. You fool. Oh, anyway. Barton, he said, denied this, saying, "I don't know where this came from. I am the leader. I don't control their lives. If a media person wants to speak to anybody in my group, I can't control that, and I wouldn't want to control it." I'm sure he wouldn't. When the BBC, of course, referred to the council statement, Barton said, "I've not printed that. I've just put a ban on Notts Live. We aren't working with them." So they reiterated the statement, right? You reiterated the statement, said, "You just said this. Here's your statement." And you've just turned around and said, "I've not printed that. I've just put a ban on Notts Live. We're not working with them." This guy is ludicrous on this one. This is so ludicrous because he's banned them. Now he's claiming he's not banned them, only to then turn around. Well, actually, I never even authorized this. I never printed that. This is just not going well for them at all. Keep on digging on this, please. By all means, do, journalists and local journalists as well, because this is going to become very interesting the more pressure that gets put on him for this. Also now included in the ban are the BBC-funded journalists who work at the publication as part of the local democracy reporting service. The reporters from Nottinghamshire Live and the LDRS can continue to attend public meetings. The ban has been criticised by Nottinghamshire Live editor Natalie Farage, who attempted to hand Barton a copy of the Nottinghamshire Post at the start of the meeting on Tuesday, which he then refused to accept. The extraordinary council meeting, which was held earlier for councillors then to vote on the preferred option for local government, then for reform in Nottinghamshire. A petition has now been created by the publication calling for reform to stop hiding from the press scrutiny, has gained more than 26,000 signatures. And again, I think that basically sums it up how bad this has gone for them. So, according to the Post, the article, again written by its agenda editor, Oliver Pridemore, prompted the ban. The piece about the ongoing discussions over the reorganisation of the local government included a claim that two reform councillors said at a public surgery that they could be suspended from their council group if they did not vote for Barton's preferred model. Pridemore attended the meeting and afterwards said, "We haven't got anything to apologise for. And we stand by the coverage we produced. It's the exact same coverage we provide on any councils in our patch." So not only was there journalist at their meeting, which adds even more to that claim, this just blows my mind the incompetence going on from this. The leader of the opposition from the Conservatives, Sam Smith, said that the ban was totally ludicrous. It shows what weak leadership. They are scared of the press actually asking questions they do not know the answers to, he said. Before Barton's comments, Reform UK Deputy Leader Richard Trice had himself say that reporters acted as activists and that maybe we don't have to talk to them. During a series of interviews with local radio stations, earlier, BBC Radio Bristol asked Tice if he believed in freedom of speech, and of course being challenged in the light of Nottinghamshire Council's live decision. Tice said there is a difference between the media and people who pretend to be the media and act as activists. They were the media. It's the local newspaper. They weren't pretending at all. And he said, that's where, of course, we draw the line. That's a judgment that has been made in Nottinghamshire. Yeah, but it's been made by your party. One of the things you are noticing, they are trying to distance themselves. Oh, it's not our decision. That's the decision that's been made, Nottinghamshire. No, it's their party that's made that decision. So these questions should just as much as apply to Nigel Farage and Richard Tice, just as it's much should apply to any councillor from Nottinghamshire, sorry, and of course Mick Barton himself. He continued and said, but I'm sure, of course, they'll sort it out. But as you know, freedom of speech means that if someone acts as an activist, then actually maybe we don't have to talk to them. We're talking to lots of other people. We enjoy scrutiny and accountability. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it, to be honest. The way that this has all gone down. And I think this keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger when it comes to it. This story so far has not gone away, and I don't think it should go away either. But it just goes to show you now that they are now scrambling and they are starting to realize, oh, this is now making us look bad. Because he's now denied that this ban of what he put out, of what he would have had to have signed off on. Because again, I work for a council comms department. I know exactly what would happen. He would have to sign off that statement. This is insane. I cannot believe he's now turning around and saying, "Oh, I never said any of this," but then turn around and say, "I didn't print any of that," when confronted with the statement. Insane. Honestly, I think that is absolutely insane to run with. Again, the party of free speech. Price. Oh well, but no, they're just acting like activists. Means we don't have to listen to them. They are the media. They are the local press. They aren't activists. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.